Hey now, it's Sharon. I'm back to share another idea on how to reform the police. If you're new to the channel, I'm a retired detective. I worked for 20 years for a southeastern city in the US, and I was also in the military. I'm sharing my experiences, my perspectives, my ideas, and my opinion on how to reform the police. And with that being said, I wanted to focus on the individual, the new officer coming into policing, and some of the ideas that I've shared in the other videos. Officer self-care, I call them. This is another officer self-care idea, if you will, coming into policing. I talked about excessive pride last week and how to get rid of it, and through faith. I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but I'm mentioning it now. You have to believe in something higher than yourself. And I mentioned that in the video before, I believe. Coming into policing without a faith, meaning you believe you are the creator of your destiny and you're the power behind it, and there's nothing guiding you, there's nothing that you confide in, nothing that you hold is higher than yourself. That's dangerous, in my opinion. But if you have a faith and you come into policing, getting rid of the excessive pride. Pride is one thing, excessive is another. Get rid of the excessive pride, search your heart, because it's there, and then the way you get rid of it, in my faith, is the idea that treating others or looking for the good or giving the good, the greater good to other people. And that's a heart issue. And I can recall early in my days, I thought I had a heart for people. You know, you come in, I want to help people, I want to save people, I want to fight crime and get the bad guy. But did I really have a heart for the community? To some degree, yes. And then another degree, no. Meaning, I saw this us versus them type thing within the community. Now, mind you, I'm brown. And I was policing brown communities. And then I still had this us versus them. You know, how can these people live like this? Hit a warrant and house is a mess, and I'm judgmental and I'm judging them. That's not having a heart for the community. Giving traffic tickets. Oh, you wrong for driving that car with no license, or your tag is expired, and well, you just got to deal with it, and I'm going to give you this ticket and you fix it. That was my attitude, not realizing, you know, Mr. Johnson, if you will, I stop him, give him a ticket, and he's working for minimum wage, like $10 an hour, and he can't afford to pay the ticket, much less pay to catch up on his tag that's expired. I never gave it one thought until I had to sit back, and I just had to do some introspection and realize, you know, I've had hard days like that. And just be a little more, show a little more empathy and sympathy for the community that I was policing, get to know the folks. I realized that I was coming into a community, I didn't even know the people, but I started to change that. I started to honor the fact that I'm there to protect them. And then I'm there, let me get to know some of these people and stop and talk and get out my car and say hey to folks. And I started to realize they want the same things I want. I want to be safe in my home. I want to be able to come outside, enjoy my neighborhood. And those are the same things they wanted. They want to protect their families like I want to protect my family. And so I started to, like I said, my faith had a lot to do with it. I started to go to church more, read the Bible, read different research things, because I was researching my identity and doing the whole DNA thing at the same time too. And so I started to look at different books, and research different things, the things they tell you not to look at, the Apocrypha. I started to read that. It's not as dangerous as I thought. But yeah, I started to open up and realize, okay, if I truly believe in Christ and the blueprint he left when he walked on this earth, he didn't judge anybody, and he loved everybody. He tried to show love to everybody. And so I had to try to do that, get rid of that prideful thing, you know, looking down my nose at folks, y'all down here and I'm up here. I stopped doing that. And then I truly had to start addressing the fact that, did I really have a love for the community? Like when I'm driving in my car and I see what I call knuckleheads, I'm like, what am I thinking? I had to address that. What am I thinking? Are they negative thoughts? Are they uplifting thoughts? I did. And it's just a suggestion. This is what I did. I'm sitting in a restaurant and I see a group of, let's just say, no, let's not say. I see a group of white men, and I had issue with that, and I talk about that in the book. I say a little prayer. They haven't said one word to me. They haven't even looked at me, but I had issues, and so I started to dig all that stuff out. And do I truly love the neighborhood I'm policing? Honestly, at that time, no. It was just it was productivity. Some people call it quotas. Yes, I'm doing this to keep the sergeant off my back. Yeah, Grandma, you got to go. You got to go to jail. I got to keep the sergeant off my back. Not realizing Grandma is taking care of her grandkids because Mom is on drugs. Dad is on drugs. And not listening to the story. You know, I heard her, but I ain't hear her. You know, could I have given her a copy of charges? Could I have just walked away? I don't know. But those are the things I started to address my heart issues and realizing that these are people that I'm policing, people just like me, they want the same things. And I started to have a lot more empathy. It was there, it's just, it had to come out. And sympathy, I had to have some sympathy. And I started to police differently. I started to look and I started to see people. Because remember in the last video I said, with that excessive pride, you don't see some folks. You see past them, you see through them. Now, it's like I sit back and I can see everybody. And I could talk to Miss B. I could talk to the little boy, the little 12-year-old. And I'm seeing people for who they are. Regular folks. Regular folks. They may not have a whole lot, but they're regular folks. So the idea is take a look at yourself, address the excessive pride and how you get rid of it. I used to just say little prayers for people I would see. I'm policing. I don't like the knucklehead standing on the corner. But you know what, Lord? He's got talent. He's just using it the wrong way. I'd say those things to myself. And I started to look at the people differently. So that's my suggestion. All right? And that's it for this week. I'll come back next week with a different idea. Take a look at our online store. The link is in the description. And always remember, you don't necessarily have to go through a thing to learn from it. Talk to you guys later.